Bobo here. Before I begin the next story, I think a little background information might be helpful. When I was stationed at Vance, this was our squadron patch for the 25th Line Training Squadron. I understand it has now changed. I've seen the new one on the internet and it's kind of pretty. At any rate, when I was assigned to Vance for the first 2 years, I was in O Flight, and this was our flight patch here. I was in old flight from 75 through December 76. And typical of flight rooms in those days, this would be a schematic of our flight room. The main entrance was over here, where in and out, where the students and instructors would come in. And this was the entry into the flight room from the flight commander's office. The first thing you saw was the scheduling desk, and then scattered throughout the room were the various IP desks. Each IP had his own desk, and at the time 2 to 3 students, depending on the class load. At the front of the flight room was a stage, just a small stage, with a podium, and that's where whoever was given the briefing would brief from. And then behind the podium was another whiteboard where the lineup for formation flights, weather, and any pertinent information would be posted. Also, this board down here behind the scheduling desk is where we would put up the day's schedule. We had magnetic strips and then magnetic name tags, and you'd pair the IP up with the student and so forth. So that's the way the rooms were configured. So this one day, Dan, who was a flight commander in, I think it might have been H flight at the time, was filling out the after actions report, day's flying report. And he was leaning on the scheduling desk, paying no mind to nothing else going around him. I think he might have been the only one in the room at the time. He noticed somebody else come into the flight room, but he didn't pay any attention to him. And the guy camped out at the other end of the scheduling desk. After a bit of time, a couple minutes maybe, this guy says to Dan, "Say, Dan, would you happen to have a Whizz-Wheel?" Now, this is a Whizz-Wheel. It's a flight computer we use for flight planning. And we carried it with us in the airplane, and as on occasion we would need it to revise a flight plan while airborne. So Dan, without looking up, says, "Not only do I not have a Whizz-Wheel," he says, "I wouldn't know how to use the fucker if I had one." And at that very instant, he looked up and saw it was our wing commander. And without skipping a beat, Dan continued. He says, "But, sir," he says, "I'm going to find one, and I'm going to learn how to use it real fast." One of the quickest men on his feet that I ever knew. That's it. See you a bit.